Smell as design is truly an interesting problem, and I do believe we have a scale of 5 stars. By the way, Frank Bruni has 4. We have 5. I am actually a nice person. I am coming out with. By the way, I'll tell you a secret. I just ordered my latest 2 bottles of Happy, which is a scent from Clinique. I'm going to give them 5 stars, but for the masculine, not for the feminine. I think the feminine is a piece of crap. The masculine is an astounding perfume, and if you ever get the chance to smell osmanthus, smell it. It's done as a synthetic because it doesn't destroy the flower, and it's easier to synthesize in the laboratory than it is to derive the natural. It's wonderful. It correlates very, very strongly with the sense of happiness. By the way, the sense of smell is the first sense that we evolved. And it's interesting because the sense of sight and hearing are processed here in the frontal cortex. The sense of smell is processed in the reptilian brain. The olfactory bulb leads directly through the central olfactory nerve to the base of the spine, which means that it's a sense that we are much less capable of abstracting, conceptualizing, objectifying. That's what we do with the frontal cortex. But it is a sense that is much more visceral. Now, when I write about these things, this is just something I wrote. I was talking about perfumes, what's good, what's bad, what's innovative, and 2 minutes remaining, really? I am so screwed. So I said the deepest pits of hell are reserved for the suits slaving over Hugo Boss. I think this is one of the worst brands in the entire world. Soul, for example, Hugo Boss Soul. I said this smells like the very good, very interesting John Varvatos, except that everything good and interesting and creative has been leached with chlorine from its desiccated corpse. Given that it has none, calling this thing soul is an Orwellian use of the English language. This is the chemical reek of deep space travelers in frozen goo and suspended animation. And it really does smell. If you smell it as design, you will smell an olfactory version of Stanley Kubrick's 2001. It is astounding. It is one of the best-selling masculine perfumes in the world. Let's see. Number 1. That's the name of the perfume, okay? Fascinating. If a cat had morning breath, then ate kibble, then licked its anus, then licked your hand, and if you then smelled your hand would smell like this. This smells like the number 1 meltdown in a paint plant. If the name of the perfume is not vile and toasty, it's only due to a lack of appropriate application of genius in the Hugo Boss marketing department, people. Woman. This is a scent for a woman who has no taste and absolutely no interest in having any. Now, what I think is interesting about this is a matter of design. This is for a woman who lives with a man who wears vile and toasty. She lives in an apartment without light or furnishings or running water or perhaps oxygen and sleeps in an aluminum container in a frozen green goo. These are actual problems of design, all right? This is really what design is like. Now, when I was following Jean-Claude Ellena at Hermès for David at the New Yorker, one of the things that he was doing is literally creating a new kind of design, and design of a perfume, of the concept of perfume itself. Now, we all know, I'm switching. Ellena is the Hermès perfumer, Jean-Claude Ellena. He respects the classic French perfume design, that aesthetic. And that is, have you smelled Chanel No. 5 actually doesn't represent it as well. It will really be sort of après l'onde, and in a sort of a weird way, the animalic Miss Dior. Miss Dior is a 1950s perfume. It actually smells like the underwear of a French trucker getting undressed in August after a hard day in the saddle. That's what Miss Dior smells like. It smells like an armpit. It's absolutely astounding, okay? He did First by Van Cleef & Arpels. First is the gilt brocade and red velvet in the Paris Opera. And what's interesting about those classics, and then 0 minutes, okay? But I'll just finish this really fast. It's very interesting. One of the designs of these things is that you have an approach to an olfactory design that is very much about the work as a work. It's very French, of course, in this way. Ego, my ego. I am the creator. I create a work for you. And Frederick Mahl said it beautifully. He said the modern version of it is one of these white musk ozonic air conditioning gadgets that sits on the skin. Okay? If that is the modern incarnation of this design. The old incarnation of it was as a jewel that you wear. Elena is doing, and if you read the book, you'll see that the book is the story of the creation of this new theory of perfume. He is creating perfumes where, unlike the old perfumes where people come up to you and say, oh, your perfume smells wonderful. These are perfumes that are actually designed to melt into the skin, to be completely different in their design. And instead of saying your perfume smells wonderful, you say, oh, you smell wonderful. The perfume disappears, but like all smell, it is not truly invisible. We only perceive it as being invisible. It is actually a completely new approach to scent, and it's wonderful. So that's it.